Hey, friends, thanks for joining. Let's begin seated. Just come into any comfortable seated posture. Sit up nice and tall, close your eyes, and just begin to turn your awareness inwards. Begin to practice pratyahara. Really notice how it feels to be in your body today at this time. If you haven't already, also begin to notice your breath. Start to feel your body breathe. Then bring your palms together to Anjali Mudra and remember your sankalpa or your intention for the practice. Now start to rub your palms together, create a little heat in your hands. And once you build some heat, use your hands to massage your shoulders and neck. Just keep breathing freely through your nose for now. Make sure you're relaxing your jaw. Start to feel things out. All right, create a little more heat. And stretch one leg out and use your hands to massage your other foot. Wake up all its little joints. And wake up your other foot. All right, let's stretch both legs out. Mobilize your ankles a little here. Some plantar flexion and dorsiflexion. Bounce out your legs. Wake them up. And lean back on your hands. Let's do some easy windshield wipers next. Remember, have your feet like the width of your mat, so pretty wide. And then as you exhale, drop your knees to your left. Inhale when you bring them back up. Now exhale and drop your knees to your right and keep going. But like I mentioned, go ahead and lean back on your hands. Take plenty of weight on your hands so you don't feel any compression in your spine. In fact, if you lean back enough, you might feel a little decompression in your spine as you move your lower body on the breath. All right, then drop your knees to your left. Let's just do an easy twist. So bring your hands to the floor outside your left thigh. And I do mean easy, so don't worry about going to a super deep twist. We're still just kind of feeling things out. But turn your shoulders. Take a few slow, smooth breaths here. Great, and then change sides. Drop your knees to your right. Bring your hands to the floor outside your right thigh. And a little bit like when we were leaning back on our hands for the windshield wipers, take them weight in your hands so you don't feel any compression in your spine. In fact, maybe a little decompression. Okay, great. And unwind. Now, just cross your ankles. Let's come up to all fours. And let's just go right into some hip circumduction. Circumduction just means make a circle with your hip. Now, with these, be careful though. You want to avoid lifting your hip up. So when I make the circle with my left knee, I want to try to avoid lifting my actual left hip up. So some people actually call this like fire hydrant pose, like a dog peeing on a fire hydrant. Try to keep your hips level But then bring your left knee out to the side without lifting the actual hip. And then left knee back and up, and then forward. Then out to the side, back up and forward. So make a big circle with your left knee, ideally without moving your hips. Moving hips as little as possible. And keep pushing the floor away with both hands equally. Even spread your shoulder blades here. Now reverse and go the other direction. Okay, change sides. Right leg out to the side, right knee out to the side, but don't lift your right hip. And then right knee backing up and right knee forward. So make the big circular motion with your right knee now. Hips level, push the floor away with both hands. Spread your shoulder blades. And go the other direction. All right, then let's have a seat again. If it feels okay, sit on your heels. If that hurts, obviously you can sit on a prop or however you need to. And then just begin to mobilize your wrists by making circular motions with your hands. And when the backs of your hands are together, maybe give a little pressure. And go the other direction. Okay, now fingertips to your shoulders, make big backward circles with your elbows. And then alternate sides. So bring one elbow forward, the other elbow back at the same time, and turn your shoulders. So you get a little rotation in your spine, a little twisting in your spine as you do that circumduction motion with your shoulders. And you'll feel your core engage a bit too when you do this kind of twisting motion. All right, then finally rest your hands in your lap and draw a circle with your chin. Bring your chin down first, and move your chin toward one shoulder. Lift your chin up, chin toward the other shoulder, and down again. And kind of like that earlier twist, don't worry about you making the biggest circle ever, especially if it's uncomfortable or you hear a lot cracking. Maybe make a smaller circle. That's okay too. Go the other direction. All right, great. Let's stretch back into down dog. Stretch back into dog pose. It might feel good to pedal your feet back and forth a little bit and or shift your hips a little bit side to side. Let's go through some kneeling salutations next. Inhale to all fours and extend your spine so your sternum moves away from your navel. Then exhale back to child's pose, tightening your abdomen on the way back. Now this inhale, sweep your arms up and open the fronts of your hips. Then exhale back into child's pose. Inhale up to all fours, extend your spine. Then let's return to dog pose. And we'll do it again. Inhale to your hands and knees, lift your chest, look forward. Exhale to child's pose, tighten the breadbasket. Inhale, reach up, open the fronts of your hips. Exhale back into child's pose. Inhale up to all fours. And exhale back to dog pose. Okay, I'll talk you through that sequence one more time. Inhale here. Exhale, child's pose. Inhale, reach up. Exhale back to child's pose. Inhale the table pose. Exhale the dog pose. Now just go through one more of those kneeling salutes on your own, at your own pace, with a skillful use of your breath. Okay, now we'll end up in down dog. Let's take a few breaths here in downward facing dog. All right, now at the very end of this exhale, do a brief pause of your breath as you step your right foot forward to your right thumb, and then bring your left knee to the floor. Now, once your left knee is on the floor, inhale, sweep your arms up, but sink your hips at the same time. See if you can bring your arms up and your hips down at the same time. And then next time you exhale, just stretch back into down dog and go through another kneeling salute. Inhale to all fours. Exhale to child's pose. Inhale as you reach up. Exhale back into child's pose. Inhale the table pose. Exhale the dog pose. And then left foot forward, right knee down. Once your right knee is down, inhale, reach your arms up, but bring your hips down at the same time. And now, bring your hands to the floor and step your right foot forward to meet your left. But have your feet like hip width or so, not too close, but hip width is usually good here. Then let's do the frog. So, bend your knees. As you bend your knees, let your heels lift up. Have your fingertips on the floor, including your thumb tips. So you end up here kind of like a frog sitting up nice and tall. So again, notice my arms are between my knees. My heels are really high, actually. I'm as high as I can on my heels, balancing my toes and my fingertips. Okay, now, the next time you exhale, press your heels down, hips up at the same time. And keep your fingertips on the floor as well. And then repeat. Come back into the frog. Take a breath here. Exhale, hips up, heels down. One more time. Inhale here. Exhale here. All right, now this inhale, stand up and sweep your arms overhead. Exhale, arms down. All right, let's put it all together for the moon salutations or Chandra Namaskar. I'm going to talk us through two, then you can do two on your own. Ready? Okay. Inhale as you reach up. And then exhale as you fold forward. Fingertips all the way to the floor. Now, drop into the frog. Take a breath here. Then as you exhale next, shoot your left foot back and then bring that knee down. Once your left knee is down, inhale, reach your arms up, but sink your hips down at the same time. And then we'll exhale back into downward facing dog. Good. Now inhale back to all fours, extending your spine. Exhale into child's pose, tightening your abdomen on the way back. And this inhale, sweep your arms up, open the fronts of your hips. Then exhale back into child's pose. Inhale to your hands and knees. Yep, and then exhale back to dog pose. Now, very end of exhale, brief pause of the breath as you step your left foot forward and bring your right knee down. Once your right knee is down, inhale, reach up, but sink your hips. And then as you exhale, hands to the floor, step forward. Good. Inhale into the frog. Exhale as you fold forward again. Inhale, stand up, arms overhead. Keep inhaling until your palms touch. And then exhale as you bring your arms down. And take a breath here. And we'll start again. Inhale, reach up. Exhale as you fold forward. Inhale to the frog. This exhale, shoot your right foot back and bring that knee down. Once your right knee is down, inhale, reach up and sink your hips. Exhale back into downward facing dog. Good. Inhale to all fours. Extend your spine. Exhale the child's pose, tighten the bread basket. Inhale, reach up. Exhale back to child's pose. Inhale up to all fours. Exhale back to dog pose. Then brief pause of the breath as you step your right foot forward, bring your left knee down. Inhale, reach up, but sink your hips. And then exhale as you bring your hands down, step forward. Inhale to the frog. Exhale as you fold. Inhale, stand up, arms overhead. And then exhale as you bring your arms down. All right, great. Now let's try two more of those on your own, at your own pace. Now, just in case you're really not familiar with these and need a little help after class, maybe look at the tutorial on the moon salutes. It gives a little more detail. Otherwise, two more Chinese namaskar on your own, at your own pace. All right. And once you finish that last moon salute, let's just end up in mountain pose. Close your eyes. Take a moment here to find your balance, pressing down equally into both feet. All right, now shift weight onto your left foot and lift your right knee nice and high. In fact, lift your right knee as high as you can. Stand up really tall. Use your arms however you want for balance. Focus your eyes on one spot. However, if you want to make it more challenging for the next 15 seconds or so, close your eyes, but keep breathing. All right, good. Let's change sides. Lift your left knee up as high as you can. Stand really tall on your right foot, right leg. Focus your eyes at first. And again, if you want more challenge, close your eyes. All right, great. Both feet down. Now, open your feet wide. Not as wide as you can, but wider than normal. Definitely wider than a yoga mat, the width of a yoga mat. Okay, let's do chakra, the revolving disc. Remember, in this one, My main objective, my priority is to make a really big circular motion with my upper body while my lower body stays pretty still, pretty stable, as stable as possible. My point here is a lot of times you can make a bigger circle with your upper body if you bend your knees, especially when you're leaning forward. Bending your knees is probably gonna help you make a bigger circle, meaning it'll allow your torso to go down further. So just keep that in mind. Straight legs is not a priority for this one. Big circle is. Let's do the one where we bring our hands, interlace our fingers behind our head, and then open your chest and rib cage. Next time you exhale, lean to one side and then lean forward. Feel free to bend your knees. And then lean to the other side, back and up. Open your chest and rib cage at the top. And then again, exhale to one side, forward. Inhale to the other side, back up. Good. A few more times. Same direction, big circular motion. Now, go the other direction. Other direction. Keep your balance. All right. Then, once you've gone to both sides in equal number of times, lean forward, bring your hands to the floor. You might want to open your feet wide enough so now they're almost as wide as you can get your feet. Just settle in here for a moment. Smooth out your breath if necessary. And then when you feel ready, just go a little side to side. So bend one knee. Check that out and bend the other knee and go side to side. Let's say the next 30 seconds or so at your own pace. Just kind of checking out this range of motion. We haven't done any kind of side lunging yet, so kind of see how it feels. You maybe go a little bit deeper as you continue to warm up here. As always, be aware, be conscious of the weight distribution on the foot that you're moving towards. So when I bend this knee, I'm really paying attention to the weight on this foot. And I want to avoid collapsing to that inner arch. It might feel good to hang out on each side for a few breaths then, once you've warmed up a little bit. And change sides. Check out this side. One more time. Okay. Back to the center. Fold forward. And let's stand up and slide your feet closer together. All right. Let's work on our balance a little bit more. Good balance hip mobility combo here. What I'm going to ask you to do is start in this variation of tree pose that I like so much, and then go back into that deep lunge. So kind of like this variation of vrikshasana to anjanasana. So use your hands however you need. If it's really difficult for you to do this, be near a wall and have one hand, one set of fingertips at least on a wall or a chair or a tall dog. Next step would be to use your hands on your front thigh for a little extra stability, of course. So I might need my hands here to create a little more stability. Of course, without using your hands, it's going to be more challenging than those two. Let's start here, step back, and then come back up. One more hard option, just for if you really want to challenge yourself, when you step back, don't curl your toes under. Bring the top of this foot, in this case my right foot, to the floor. So you have a little less, it requires a little more strength of your front leg. So let's spend the next 30 seconds doing some kind of various movement from here back to here. With a skillful use of your breath, meaning you might want to exhale when you step back, you might want to inhale. Either way is really technically fine, but just do think about using your breath in a skillful way for this one. One more time for good measure. All right, both feet down. Take a few normal breaths. I gotta fix my clock. Okay. Change sides. Yep, just like the first side. Any of those different variations I mentioned, demonstrated will be good here. Whichever seems more appropriate for you. And as always, no need to rush here. Put on your time. One more time. All right. Okay, now let's sink back into that frog variation. Okay, this way again. Come back into that frog. We did it a bunch of times. So on your toes and fingertips, heels up, arms between your knees. Now this time, experiment a little bit more. It might feel good to kind of bring one heel down, then the other heel down, or any kind of little micro movements, you might call them. And check out your squat. Adjust your feet if it feels like you need to. Explore a little bit more here. All right, then feel free to hang out a little bit longer in the squat, or if you like, shift your weight onto your hands and your toes, or all of your weight on your hands. Any one of those three are good. And then we'll either step or hop or crawl back and just end up in crocodile pose. Let's rest your forehead on your hands. Breathe here. Okay, then if it feels good, bend your knees and make some circles with your shins. So you rotate your thighs again. Go the other direction. And let's do the half frog variation. Bring your left knee out to the side with your left toes pointing in that direction too. So your left knee ends up in kind of a 90-degree angle there. Chances are when you do that, your left hip pops up. So see if you can sink your left hip back down again. And then lift your left foot and ankle up and down off the floor. So you actively internally rotate that thigh. And then ask it to hover. Okay, then change sides. Bring your right knee out to the side and point your right toes in that same direction. Then sink your hip back down, and lift the right foot and ankle up and down. And ask it to hover. Bring it down. Now the side scorpion, bring your left arm onto the side palm facing down. Roll to your left and bring your right foot someplace near Your left hand, you can split your legs then as well. It kind of turns into a whole body stretch. Okay, unwind and change sides. Return to your abdomen, and now Sphinx pose. Finally, Sphinx. Or Salamba Bhujangasana. So you can create a little more length in your waist here. Try to pull your rib cage away from your hips down. It feels good. Sphinx plus. Bend your knees and make some circles again. Both directions. Okay, now let's do our third frog variation for today. Well, all kinds of frogs. So from here, keep lifting your head and shoulders up. So try to avoid dropping your head and shoulders. Stay in Sphinx pose basically, but turn your right hand in a little bit, kind of a lot actually. Then begin to reach back with your left hand as you bend your left knee and maybe hold inside that foot. And now think about using the strength of your arm, upper body, but arm really, to stretch your leg by bringing your left foot forward, so as if you're eventually going to bring the sole of your left foot to the floor. At some point, you should feel some stretching in the front of your left thigh. Okay. And now change sides. Keep your left forearm down. Keep lifting your head and shoulders. But reach back with your right hand and maybe hold inside your right foot and bring it forward. So use some upper body strength to stretch your lower body. Okay, now let's do the opposite. Let's use the strength of our lower body to stretch our upper body with bow pose. And I should say here, feel free to stay in Sphinx or Sphinx Plus, or now if you can, reach back with both hands to hold both feet and use the strength of your legs to open your chest. Okay, then return to the crocodile. And then when you're ready, return to child's pose. Knees about shoulder width for child's pose. Then when you sit back on your heels, you kind of feel your thighs pressing just a little bit into the kind of sides of your abdomen. Maybe forehead all the way to the floor if that feels okay. And then once you're here, focus on breathing into your back. Direct the breath into the area behind your heart. Now walk your hands over toward the left side of your mat and focus on breathing into the right side of your rib cage as if you could breathe more into your right lung. Now walk your hands over toward the right side of your mat and breathe into the left side of your rib cage and your left lung. Okay, then back to the center. Let's come up to all fours and just cross your ankles. Have a seat again for the inchworm. That's what I call it, the inchworm. So we're going to sit up really tall. Bring your palms together and then turn your fingers kind of like you're shaking your own hand. And then just keep your thumbs kind of connected to your sternum. So you avoid swinging your arms for this one. Really try to fuel the movement from deep in your core as you lift your left hip up and then shift it forward. Now lift your right hip up and shift it forward. So just kind of slide forward inch by inch until you run out of room for whatever reason. Once it kind of feels like you've run out of room, then throw it in reverse. Lift one hip up, shift it back. Other hip up and shift it back. Keep sitting really tall, and like I mentioned, really try to feel how the movement. Try and notice how the movement is fueled from deep in your core, especially without because you're not swinging your arms for momentum. When you've kind of run out of mat space or whatever space, then go forward again. Okay, now once you're to the front of your mat again, let's have a couple options. My first option, what I prefer, is the rocking back and forth. But I am aware sometimes that can be a bit much for your low back if you have some low back pain. So if rocking back and forth hurts any joint for that matter, you can always hang out any boat pose variation. Otherwise, watch out for your pets as you rock back and then rock forward. As most of us know here, holding your legs makes it a little bit easier to make a smooth rocking motion. If you don't hold your legs, you can still do it, but you'll need to tighten your abdomen a little bit more. And those of us who want more challenge still, when you rock forward, don't let your feet touch the floor. Hang out for a second, catch and hang time in boat pose. Okay, good. Now, bring the soles of your feet together for the butterfly. Sit up nice and tall here. This pose has lots of names. Bound angle pose or Baddha Konasana. If you find some really old school yoga books, sometimes they call this cobbler pose because in India, cobblers would sit this way, hold the shoe and kind of work on them with them between your feet. And of course, in the Western world, we've called this butterfly for a long time. Let's take a few breaths, sitting up nice and tall. And then once you've taken a few breaths here, experiment with maybe leaning forward, maybe kind of leaning to a side a little bit. Check out, see what feels good. All right, good. Now stretch your right leg out. Hold your right toes with your right fingertips. Then lift your left fingertips toward the ceiling. Try to touch the ceiling. I know that a lot of times you try to reach this way, but for today, just reach your free fingertips up as high as you can, like you're trying to touch the ceiling as you hold your toes with your other fingertips. And then last thing here, press your lower body down. Think about resisting your lower body into the floor as you reach your fingertips up toward the ceiling. So you get a lot of length. Okay, and then change sides. Remember, once you're here, focus on sending your lower body down, but reaching your other fingertips up. Kind of like when we were in that first sphinx. See, think about imagine you can move your lower and upper bodies in different directions. All right, great. Then stretch both legs forward and hold all of your toes. If you can reach them, bend your knees until you can. Great. Now lie onto your back. Let's do Tadaka Mudra next. From your back, reach your arms overhead, interlace your fingers, press your palms toward one wall, slide your legs together and press your heels toward the opposite wall. So use the strength of your arms and legs to really lengthen your spine. Now exhale all the breath out. Very end of exhale, suck your navel back so you hollow out your abdomen for a second or two. After a second or two, relax your abdomen, then inhale and repeat. Exhale all the breath out, then all three bandhas, emphasizing Uddiyana Bandha, so it feels like you hollow out your abdomen and it resembles an empty pool. And relax and try it one more time. All right, good. Now let's do something like shoulder stand. Our obvious options are the full-on shoulder stand. You can do the modified one, the one I like where my hips are kind of like resting in my hands more than stacked over my shoulders. You can slide your legs up a wall, any kind of shoulder stand type pose that you deem is appropriate for you and your neck. And then if plow feels okay for your neck, maybe check out plow. If that hurts your neck or your low back, of course you can skip it. All right, take your time, but then go ahead and lower all the way down to the floor. Once you're on your back, take a minute to do whatever it feels like you need to do to prepare for corpse pose or shavasana. Do whatever it feels like you need to do so you can get super comfortable in some variation of corpse pose, whichever one feels best for you, where you can completely let go of your body. Once you have settled in, as I mentioned, really allow the floor to take your body weight. And we'll spend the next 5 minutes or so here practicing how to let go of the body. All right, now begin to notice the breath rising and falling through both nostrils. Become really aware of the sensation the breath creates when it rises and falls through both nostrils, and then also notice if the flow of the breath feels stronger in your left or right side. Notice if your left or right nostril is more open. And once you notice which side feels more open, then draw your knees into your chest and roll to that side. And then stay on that side using your bottom arm as a pillow to allow the nostril flow to balance out. Then begin to work your way back up to seated. And just like we began class, come into any comfortable seated posture. Okay, once you're sitting nice and tall, again, close your eyes and practice Jiva Mudra by bringing the tip of your tongue to the roof of your mouth. Then slide it forward so the tip of your tongue touches the gum line where the roof of your mouth and your front teeth meet. Let's also practice Pranashuddhi. Next time you inhale, just notice the breath moving up your right nostril. And then as you exhale, notice the breath moving down your left nostril. Now reverse it. As you inhale, feel the breath ascending through your left nostril. And as you exhale, feel the breath descending down your right. And continue doing that at your own pace. But remember, you're not trying to control or shape your breath. You're simply observing the sensation the breath creates when it moves through one nostril, and you keep alternating sides. If you notice your mind wandering, that's okay. But if you do notice it wandering, bring it back to watching the flow of the breath rise and fall through one nostril at a time. All right. And bring your palms together back to Anjali Mudra and take one last moment to enjoy the peace you've created through the practice. So to create a little more heat. And this time, once you build some heat, rest your hands over your eyes. Feel it moving and recharging your senses. Take one last slow, smooth breath in here. When you're ready, open your eyes. Thank you for joining. I hope you enjoyed class. Have a fantastic day. I hope to see you again soon.